Our top story check today is in the Bahamas, where they're keeping a close eye on Nicole as the storm impacts the islands. And today, our One Caribbean News, Deandra Hamilton explains how they've been preparing for impact.
Up to 6 inches of rain and tornadoes could spawn in the late season system, which was Tropical Storm Nicole at the time of this national update on Monday night. From
Nicole is moving towards the northwest at 8 miles an hour. Maximum sustained winds remain at 45 miles an hour. Winds of 40 miles an hour extend outward up to 310 miles.
This is a routine with which Bahamians are very familiar, though not usually in November.
Statements were made with regards to the closing of schools and government buildings in affected areas tomorrow, full closures, and also around 12 o'clock.
Closures in effect on Tuesday. A rush to readiness, and officials were speaking to ensure islanders recognize the risks and take no chances as they heed alerts and brace for another hit.
We urge persons in those areas where we are deeming areas to be evacuated. We strongly urge persons, once the teams come to evacuate them from the area, please move with the teams.
The islands to be impacted most are situated in the northwestern Bahamas. That includes Abaco and Grand Bahama. The Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, shared with media her focus in the hours left to prepare.
We are basically moving forward with all of the strategies that have already been implemented.
Schools to be closed, like government offices and airports and seaports. And it was a challenge not to be fooled by the balmy breezes and sweet sunshine. The gusting winds and high surf levels evident off the coast of Nassau were proof that Nicole is on her way. Deandra Hamilton reporting.
All right, thanks so much, Deandra. Meantime, in Florida, a state of emergency has been issued as Nicole is intensifying and is forecast to be the first hurricane to strike the United States this late in the year in nearly 40 years. The rare November storm is bringing life to a grinding halt in the Sunshine State as people along the East Coast brace for impact. Yvonne Rodriguez reports.
Here in Jensen Beach, Florida, you can see these waves coming in behind me. Where I'm standing, I'm technically not even at the beginning of the beach, and we're already seeing water levels come up to where I'm standing now. The National Weather Service saying they're expecting Nicole to gain strength as it heads for Florida's east coast. The threat of a direct strike from a Category 1 hurricane has triggered mandatory evacuations in Florida's Palm Beach and Volusia counties Wednesday morning.
This incoming storm is a direct threat to both property and life. A low category hurricane or even a tropical storm will cause more damage than usual due to the weakened infrastructure we have. If you were impacted with flooding from Hurricane Ian, then you can expect to be impacted by this upcoming storm as well.
People still struggling to recover from Hurricane Ian's deadly wrath a mere 6 weeks ago are having a hard time coping with the new threat Nicole brings.
We've lived in this house and in this neighborhood for 30 years, and we've been through quite a few hurricanes here. We've never seen anything like what Ian did. To think about water getting back in our house now, it's like...
Orlando International Airport is ceasing all commercial operations beginning at 4 p.m. Wednesday until circumstances permit operations to resume. The airport in Melbourne is closing 2 hours earlier.
We're going to have a very large area of impacts.
Several school districts are now closed Wednesday and Thursday, with Nicole expected to strike land near Melbourne overnight Wednesday into Thursday.
We all need to be mindful, however, that the storm's track remains uncertain. It could still shift north or south as it reaches closer to Florida.
The National Weather Service says we could see storm surge up to 5 feet and rain totals up to 7 inches. In Jensen Beach, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Well, meantime, Guyana has signed a forest partnership memorandum of understanding with the European Commission that will see it receiving an initial grant of €5 million, or about $4 million to preserve its forests. The signing was done on the sidelines of the 27th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or COP27, in Egypt. President Irfan Ali, delivering a speech virtually, said the Mao demonstrates Guyana's and the EU's shared values of sustainable forest management and the protection of environment.
Furthers the process of promoting the trade in legally produced timbers and timber products. The government of Guyana and the European Union have shared a long and fruitful partnership, advancing work together on shared priorities in programs on the environment, sustainability and forest governance. The EU has been in the forefront of supporting our development efforts, including in areas of climate change, climate resilience, food security, biodiversity protection, and forest management.
Well, meantime, President Ali pointed to the local, regional, and global importance of Guyana's forests, while outlining that the country has one of the world's highest rates of forest cover as a result of sustainable management.
The Forest Partnership is underpinned by the recognition of the role of Guyana's pristine forests to the health and well-being of the global environment. Guyana forests are part of its natural patrimony. Our forests constitute a part of Guyana's rich natural capital and is abundant in valuable timber, minerals, and priceless biodiversity. Our forests provide food and shelter and support the livelihoods of thousands of Guyanese families. They're being sustainably managed, as evident in Guyana having one of the world's highest rate of forest cover.
And the initial grant will support Indigenous peoples and local communities and small-scale producers, promote sustainable trade in forest and agricultural commodities, and build capacity to drive behavior change. And before we head to break here, the Powerball wait is over, and it was totally worth it for someone in California. After the delay on the drawing Monday night due to some technical issues, the winning numbers were drawn Tuesday morning. Those magic numbers for that ticket, 10, 33, 41, 47, 56, and the Powerball was 10. That ticket now worth a record $2.04 billion.